And it was my friend actually. That year it was my friend.
Is that now we know? Where she came from?
I think that's...
Hello and welcome to Four Wives and a Mic. You've got myself, Nikki, and again a lovely panel of ladies.
Hi.
So on my far right, we're going to start with Phebi.
I'm Phebi, founder of Bosses and Mums. I'm also a wife and a mother of two.
And then we've got...
I'm Nikki, also known as Basic Nick. I am a wife and a mother of three.
Well, hello. Welcome. And then to my left, we've got the lovely...
Hi, I'm Amelia. I'm a mom of two and a wife.
Yes, honey. And my good friend.
I'm a good friend.
What?
You're my very good friend.
Oh, yes, thank you. All right, well, today's question, we're going to be talking about something juicy, very juicy. Well, okay, so I'm going to give you a little brief history, brief recap. Yeah. So I posted I posted something about marriages and having sex in marriage and, you know, spicing it up and satisfying your partner. And myself and Nikki got into a little tete-a-tete.
Yeah.
Yes. And then there was another lady that got involved.
Yeah.
And hers was a little bit fiery hot, but she declined to join us today. That's fine. So we're going to just go into it a little bit, not necessarily what was on the post, but just thereabouts.
Yeah.
So the question today is it acceptable for women to publicly discuss sex? So you have to go and check out the Instagram now to find the post. I'm not going to tell you which post it is. You have to scroll down, look in the comments, so you go look at it, then come back. Are you back? Oh, welcome back. So ladies, is it acceptable for women to publicly discuss sex?
I think it depends. It depends on where you are. Is it the appropriate time? You know, who are you talking to? Do you have that relationship to talk to somebody about it?
Yes.
You know, like with you guys, I feel like I could, you know, speak to you guys about sex and things, but I wouldn't like go into work or, you know, somewhere professional.
Yeah.
You know, it depends, you know, who you're talking to, really.
Yeah. Because for me, like, I agree with you. It depends on if you're talking to girls. But I won't just go to a gathering where I don't know nobody there and I'll be talking about sex.
I mean, what you
No,
did
for
last night?
example, let's say you go to a party
Okay.
and you just met these people.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily... I know there's this thing about being forward, being yourself. That's good, but don't forget, when you're out there, you represent you and you represent your husband, you represent your family.
Which is
you see
true.
what I'm saying?
Which is true, yeah.
Yes, it's old fashioned, I
Yeah.
get it, but you're carrying his last name, you're wearing his ring. So for me, like, I wouldn't go to my husband's work party and start talking
Just
about
have to keep it classy.
Exactly. You won't even know I can speak. I say hi. No, but I just think there's a way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
When, you know, when you're represent you. And, I mean, with you, you know, we talk. Like, hey,
I don't know what you're talking about.
no, but I think it's like that. And I'll tell you a quick story. There was a girl before my husband met me. There was a girl that his friend wanted to introduce him to. But when they first met in a group, from the way she spoke, he just thought, nah. And she was very pretty. She was hot. When you saw her, like, yeah, you're right. It's on. But hearing her speak about everything, you just thought, nah.
Oh dear.
It was just that, because you never know who's watching. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, so I think you do have to
Be mindful of
mindful
kind of your setting and
yeah.
okay.
And that's interesting because I agree with both of you, but on the same hand, I'm like, I think it depends on the way in which it's been spoken about. So you could be somewhere, let's say you went to your husband's workplace and someone talks about, I don't know, sex in terms of, oh, you know, someone brings up threesomes, or like, that was what the conversation was about. Or someone brings up something as innocent as, you know, just sex, like I'm trying to think of an innocent way to talk about sex or whatever, but I think it just depends on the conversation.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go somewhere and just be like, oh, this is what, like I was saying, this is what I did last night, you know, because that would just make me
how
weird.
I like it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? That would be weird. And I love what you said about representing your husband and things like that. I love that. I just think it depends on the situation and what is actually being discussed. If you're just going and, you know, on your Instagram and you're like, yeah, I like this position, I like that position, then what is wrong with you? Unless you're what's wrong with you, you know? Unless you're like a porn star or something, like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? But I just think it just depends on
the context and
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Okay, well, that then leads me into, because you spoke about representing your husband,
Yeah.
and well, does that mean that once you become a wife, you kind of have to be a bit more conservative?
When you say
And being
more,
because you said, you know, being mindful about how you represent him, and
Yeah.
you know, if you're gonna go to his work dues and things like that, like, does that mean becoming a wife, you know, means becoming conservative
but in terms of
in terms of and speaking about sex and discussing that as well?
Yeah, talking about sex again, it's just about, like everybody said, it's about being aware of where you are. When I say you represent your husband, that's his workplace. So when you go there and act a fool on Monday, you could have been acting a fool in front of his manager. And we live in a world where I don't know about England, but I know in America, one of my cousins, she had a slight disagreement with her husband's manager, and the next day he was sacked.
Oh.
Yeah, because if your wife is expressing those views,
It's coming from
it's
you.
coming from you. It was discussed in your household. So when I say you represent your husband, you do that as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it makes sense where to be aware of, even if you're around his friends, or like me and my husband, we have mutual friends. They know both of us. But when if it's his friends, I kind of fall back a bit, and I think in that sense, yes, I'm conservative in that moment. In terms of what I wear. Obviously, I'm not going to be wearing booty shorts.
Why not?
No, with him, I can do all of that because it's for him.
Yeah.
But outside, I don't think people should see that, because he had to pay my diary and put a ring on it and all of that to get all of
But
this.
then we're crossing lines into like, so what he paid for you. So now you're
No. It's not that I'm his property, but for me, I enjoy the fact that I wouldn't like him going out naked. But I enjoy the fact to know that yes, what I wear.
That's your chocolate.
That exactly.
That's your
This conversation reminds me a little bit of Beyonce. I'm not trying to say that I'm like I worship her or anything like that, but you know, we all know that Beyonce, you know, she's sexy, she's this, she's that. But if you listen to her music as well, it's a lot of, you know, keeping things indoors, like, you know, keep it between me and you, you and your husband and stuff. And then, you know, going out, you're being like, basically, what's that saying? A lady in the streets
and a freak in the bed.
Stuff like
Not
that.
bed,
you know?
babe. I'm old.
But do you guys know what I mean?
Definitely.
So this topic kind of reminds me of that.
No, but
So on some level, then that is the case. You do become a bit more conservative once you're
A wife,
a wife, or once you're, you know, like in a long-term relationship and you're
But
representing
who wants to share their wife with the world?
Yeah. No, look, let's just take it from the wife kind of thing.
No, I'm not saying I do.
Yeah.
I think there are certain, it's funny, I like that you said that, because there are certain, let's say, celebrities I see, and they're married, and then their wives are just naked. And I'm just like, I don't even look at, do you know what I mean? I don't even look at the woman. I'm like, as the guy, what are you doing? Are you even leading that home? Because your wife is just...
But what do you mean naked? Because
Like, I'm not talking about...
You're not naked.
No, here's the thing. I mean naked.
Yeah.
is it like see-through dress?
No, honey, it's all about everything.
Everything.
Yes.
And I'm not like...
You about to Google it, right?
I'm gonna Google it.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not against, like, I think there's a way of dressing and still being in a classy way and still being modest without having to cover from head to toe. Do you know what I mean? But I always think when a woman is completely naked or constantly showing, I'm like, what's going on with the husband? That's what I look at. You know, because for you to be naked and your wife's naked and you don't think there's anything wrong with it.
But you know what? Playing devil's advocate here. There are some guys who want the world to see what they're working with. Isn't
I think of what's that girl? Something Studado. that girl that married her husband who was 53 when she was 16 in America. And she used to date, do you remember her? The blonde, slim girl, big boobs. And she did Celebrity Big Brother here a couple of years ago. And she would always have her boobs up here, little skirts. I don't think she even wore shorts. Shorts was too much of a cover up. You know, she wore little shorts and heels like this high. And he loved that. He loved that. He loved putting her on show like that.
Yeah.
And did they last?
It's like they're
that was my next point.
Well, no,
did they last?
They did not last.
Okay.
Because apparently he was too controlling.
The irony.
Well, I'm trying to think what my point was with that one.
Is that saying that men who like to show their wives are controlling? Is that what I'm getting?
No, I
think we're just in her situation because she was always, every single time she was out, she never wore jeans. It was
all the time.
Short skirts, high heels, boobs out.
Even shorts were to cover it up.
Honestly, it was.
But for me, it's just. No, I'm just making a point to her. For me, I don't think it says that the husband is controlling. Like what you said, I think it's more of a, not to be deep, but I think it's more of what he was when he was younger. Maybe he wasn't getting girls that pretty, so now I'm older, I can get girls. Now look at me, kind of thing. But I just think, you should. I mean, there's nothing wrong with covering up. You can still be sexy, you know. You look sexy. You're sexy. I'm naked right now. You're not naked. Do you see what I'm saying?
She said she's naked right now.
I'm
feeling very naked. My mother doesn't see this. I'm sorry.
No, but I think there's a way where you carry yourself when because you're not single anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you don't want that kind of attention. Like, people just. If you're
some girls want that attention,
but then are you really married? Why did you get married? Do you see what I'm saying? It's not like for me, when I got married, I was a cute size. I still get, I'm still cute, I know. But for me, there was like, in terms of guys, and when you're getting dressed, you're like, okay, I'm going. This is the way you carry yourself and do that. But once you're married, I honestly felt like when I was married, that was when I got the most attention from men. And I felt that was really disgusting. It's like, can you not see my ring?
I felt so insulted.
The ring attracts them.
Do you see what I'm saying? I was like, I'm married now, back off, But do you really
you can't
want
afford
them?
this?
Do you know what's I don't actually wear a ring.
You don't?
No. So
I tried that.
It's really
my husband
weird.
won't have it.
So when people are like the ring, I'm like, I don't really know how that.
Why don't you wear a ring?
Funny story. My husband lost his ring 2 days after we got married, and then literally, and then from there it was just like, and we haven't 10 years. Not
10 years.
Yeah,
we haven't.
So you want to wear your ring?
Not really, no. And then I'm supposed to get. My sister-in-law's always like, you're gonna get another ring, but I remember the other day I was like, but if I get a ring, I'm not gonna wear it.
Because you've gone 10 years, I mean. But that says a lot, actually. It says a lot because you're married.
Yeah.
And that's enough for you.
Don't get me wrong, I get days where I don't, because I wash up, I clean poo. I'm not going to wear my ring when I'm doing that.
Getting poo stuck in the
smell. Yeah, exactly. That smells a bit funky. Where's that coming? Oh! Yeah. So I do take it off when I'm doing like household chores and things. So sometimes I do genuinely forget to put the ring on. But I actually like my ring. Like I'm not saying you don't like yours, sorry.
No.
But like I really think it's so pretty.
Your ring is pretty.
Yeah, but that's how we got talking though. That's how we met because I saw your ring and I was like,
oh, is it?
I love your ring. Yes.
Oh.
Think like this.
I'm just always like, hi.
It's like, I love your ring. It's so cool. It's so unusual. And then you just start talking.
Yeah.
Would you let someone ever like touch your ring?
You can touch it.
You can touch back. You can't try it.
I mean, yeah.
No, you have some girls.
You can just touch it. I don't know why you would want to just touch.
Would you not let someone touch yours?
I was a bit iffy.
Oh, really?
Why?
Like, don't touch my ring.
Don't touch my ring. What? I was like, your spirit will go in my ring. That's my body.
You never know.
Nigerians, I swear.
That is too funny. I've never heard that.
Don't put your spirits in my union.
I think it's an African thing.
No, it is. I'm sure we have our own
ring, but you can't try on.
No, yeah,
because I had people say, "Oh, like no."
But funny stuff, actually, I was so excited when I first got my engagement ring. I think I did let my sister try it on.
That's your sister, though.
Oh well.
I hope your sister's not watching.
Exactly. She probably won't. I don't give a damn. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Oh my god.
No, but that's really funny. Where were we? Well, actually, I think we should probably wrap it up now. We've spoken about being conservative, so I guess it's a consensus. You should be a bit more, maybe conservative, demure. You're representing your, not only your husband and your home, but actually your families. You know, coming together and and you know, I guess that makes sense. I mean, sometimes I think I'm a bit of a rebel. Got my shoulders out, but no, I think I do.
Can I just ask one question? What do you think of Kim Kardashian being married and having children? Is she representing her family?
No. Because I actually, she's like my go-to, you know, the Kardashian, that's what I watch. So for me to like de-process or de-stress or whatever, that's my go-to. But I don't have a problem with who she is, because the thing she's doing now is what she did to get there. So if she don't do all these things that she's doing,
but she now has a family and she's married.
But I don't think she sees it that way. It's like
it's okay for her to do because she's Kim
No. It's not okay. No how you can do.
I like that question. My eyebrow went up like.
You can do whatever you want to do, because she was naked when she met her husband.
So what about the normal girls who are naked before they met?
If you meet your husband and your husband is cool with you being naked, hey, do your thing. But if it was somebody like me, I was clothed and I was in church and then all of a sudden I'm out here wilding out, booty shorts.
But then that's changing who you are.
Exactly.
Not necessarily changing who you are, but is it right to do those things?
Just to kind of please, or
I don't know. Like,
if I'm honest, the Kim K thing, I am judgmental when it comes to her.
Oh,
because I didn't like the way she became famous. I didn't like it.
I don't think anyone liked it.
Well,
but
the men that watched it, or women that watched it, I'm sure they liked it. But I've just never really been a big fan of her. What I perceive her ethos to be. It's all very, very, very superficial, and on some level, it's manipulative of certain cultures and certain traditions. And it's like she doesn't really understand kind of some of the things that she does, but it's accepted because it's Kim Kardashian. So I have a bit of an issue with that. And I'm not gonna lie, on some level, I do think their marriage is fake. I feel like she's a beard. But that's another episode. Oh, okay. But I mean,
she's a what? Sorry?
A beard,
what does that mean?
Oh, we'll talk about that But my thing is, you know, good for you, go make your money, you know. But there's something about selling your soul. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get all of that.
There's something even a little bit more twist about selling the soul of your kids as well, because her kids are featured on, you know, her TV show. She does put her kids out there in terms of publicly, in terms of, you know, what they wear and how they look and whatever. And I just feel very uncomfortable with all those kind of things. So for me, I'm not a fan of that process.
The Kardashian clan.
No, but not the whole Kardashian clan, because I feel like with the younger girls, I kind of get it. You're young,
models
your models. Think about it. Kylie and what's the other one?
Kendall.
And Kendall. They don't have sex tapes out. They don't necessarily.
They don't need to.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That is the point. They don't need to. But then I don't know. I feel like Kylie went out and did a makeup line, and her whole thing is based on her looks, which is fine, but she's actually making genuine money off of that. Like, she's made a product. Like, that's one of the things that annoys me about these Instagram girls. You just want to take pictures. Like, what are you doing with it? Don't get me wrong. Definitely. Yeah, I do take pictures, but I want to do something with it. You know, I want to start this. I want to get people talking. I want to get mums to start to actually think about, well, what else can I do with myself, and how else can I help my community? And let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about how can we empower our children? How can we support them in whatever field they want to do? So that's me. That's what I want to do. But other people, they just want to stand there and think, oh, well, Kim Kardashian looks pretty and she gets loads of money, so I can do it too. There's more to it than that. So I think for me, that's why I'm a little bit more not as harsh in regards to like Kylie and Kendall in terms of how they've set off their careers. Because, you know, they started off, I'm pretty. One's gone off modelling, professional model, doing her thing, and the other one's starting off a beauty line that's like now multi-million dollar.
Billion.
There we go. You know, so props to you. Well done to you. Well done. You know, for actually using the opportunity that you've got.
And
doing things with it. You know,
that's the key.
Yeah.
I think for me, sorry.
Platform. No, go on.
I was going to say quickly, I think my thing with any sort of celebrity, especially in this day and age, is the impact it has on the younger generation.
Yes.
You know, because if a certain celebrity has gotten famous from a sex tape or posing in a certain way, young girls who are watching think, oh, this is what you have to do.
It's acceptable.
And this is acceptable. So they are willing to do anything to get this level of fame. But what they don't know is there's a whole team behind this who are supporting mentally and physically. And then, so, you know, so make sure these people are emotionally as stable as you can be in Hollywood, you know, and
this chocolate's just looking good.
that whole cake looks really good. So, but yeah, so I just think that's my concern when it comes to, especially with, you know, social media. You said it, there are so many Insta famous people, and it's like they're taking all these pictures. What are you doing with it? Do you know the influence you have? There's this term influencers, but do you know how good or how dangerous your influence is on your generation?
Yeah.
So,
One thing I just want to put out there is people will only show you what they want you to see.
Yeah.
So I think that's something.
But I also think, you know, in terms of that whole sex tape thing, going back to Kim Kardashian, don't get me wrong, well done for her for being a mum and doing her thing, but look how many sex tapes we now have. It's like every minor celebrity now thinks that's the way to be
do it.
famous. How many
Yeah.
love and hip hop celebrities now have sex tapes?
yeah.
Because that's the way. You know, we don't need to work anymore. Just have sex and then we'll be famous,
We'll
and
be
then
famous,
we can do something after that. It's like, got the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's not it.
That's the concern.
You need to go back to the conservative and all of that
Well,
stuff.
yeah.
Work.
I guess.
Talent.
Yes.
Or have a
I think
talent.
everyone has a point. Everyone has a purpose.
Yeah.
Why not just sit down, sit down, think about it, and then let's try. Let's try whatever it is you're thinking about.
You know.
Other than, oh, but I've got a pretty face.
Thank you.
But if you've got a pretty face, sorry,
No, I think
I'm gonna come in there. If you've got a pretty face, use it.
no, but
No, but
yeah,
your
that's
pretty
what
face
they were
is the
saying.
cherry on top. It's
No,
an addition. It's not
thank
the.
you.
It's not the only thing. There's more to you than a pretty face.
Thank you.
No, but I think where that comes from, we have to look at the roots as well. Like what you were saying about all these young girls these days. It all for me, it all boils down to where that comes from. Because I remember when I was growing up, my grandma always used to say to me, "Just because you're pretty won't get you through the door. Even if it does, your brain will sustain you there."
Hallelujah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it's about how these young girls are being raised.
Yeah.
I mean, as a mom, it's like I have 2 daughters, so obviously from 2 years old, you should hear me in more conversation. It's just like you're talking to an adult. Yes, you're beautiful. Yes, you everything else is great. But at the end of the day, your beauty will only get you so far. And after all, you get old. And I know good black don't crack, but things start to sag, and you know it's not always as it needs to be. But it's about your core values, and I don't think anymore that it's cool to have values. It's not cool these days.
I think
like
we
you
need
said.
to bring it back.
Yes.
But hopefully, you know, we can start doing that with 4 wives. You know,
Absolutely.
the network of mummies and women, and you know, the wives that we have off this platform. Hopefully, we can start this conversation. We can
will.
get
Yeah.
there.
We should.
And you know, we're not. Hopefully, we are. We're doing it.
Yes,
we are
this
doing
is what
it.
we're doing now.
And here's the thing, you know, it's okay. You might have. I might not agree with your values, but let's get some of these values back, though. Let's get
let
those
it be
foundations
okay to
right.
have values. And
Yes,
for some, it's like it's not. You know, it's
okay
it's okay to not be like.
I don't have to agree with you all the time. I don't think we do.
Yeah.
But we're still able to have a conversation and still do this because there's something bigger that we're trying to achieve.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Going back to what you said about values and going back to the topic, and having values that it seems that society's kind of missing. I think that's why, because if you go back onto the actual post, you'll see, and it was my friend actually. That year, it was my friend.
Is that now we know? Where's your kid from?
I think that's why she got so heated in a way that could almost be perceived as judgmental, but it's not. It does genuinely come from a place of love, because especially now, it seems as though people have lost their sense of they've lost those values. So anything goes. You know, and I think that's what's missing, and because of it, we see this deterioration in society. And I think stuff like this, though, having this big conversation like this, even if people don't agree, it helps because
It's people thinking,
and
you know,
kind of
start to move in the right direction, because rather than it going in the direction of I'm just gonna go look pretty somewhere. You know, you can just start thinking, because off the back of today, let's be honest, you're gonna now start your Instagram, aren't you?
Yeah.
Come on! And you're gonna think about what you're gonna do. You're gonna start some something. Yeah. So
yeah.
and that's what it's about. And with some of the other ladies that I've had an opportunity to record with, I'm gonna set up some collaborations. I'm gonna do some things, and that's what it's about. That's that's what I want for all of us. I want us to be able to kind of build and build and build. And if you're not building anything solid, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much for joining us. I've had fun.
So fun.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy she wasn't scared to come. Lady that didn't come, maybe next time you come.
She probably will.
I will invite you again and again. But honestly, for real, thank you all so much. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate you as well. Please like, subscribe, and share. Share. Have you shared the link?
I have.
Okay, have you shared the link?
The link.
The link for the video. Have you shared it? You're looking at me.
Oh, yeah, I have.
Yeah, you have. Good. Phebi, have you shared
Definitely.
it? Good, okay. So that's what I like. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again later. Bye.